How much does fundamentals or story matter? Hard to say, but probably 50%. You want to be in the things where money is going to go to. That's kind of the whole point of trading. And the longer time frames, the more fundamentals matter. And when I say fundamentals, I'm not talking about like balance sheet, the margins. I'm talking about like the theme or the story.
A breakout is not an edge. There needs to be something else involved. You need to buy breakouts of the right stocks. Just a breakout is not an edge.
But what is difficult is focusing on the right stocks. Like I feel that's maybe the hardest thing. You know, I see it all the time. Like people ask about setups, but you need to be able to weed out the random stocks. Just because a stock has a flag or some setup doesn't mean you should trade it. There's just too much randomness. You need to get the randomness out. That's the hardest part, I think. You get the randomness out by studying perfect setups from the past decades. Oh yeah, absolutely. You need to have some. You can't just randomly buy or short stocks. Or shorting, parabolics doesn't matter. But like buying, you need to have something that's a reason to go up. Pure momentum is enough. But if you want to get to the like 100 million level, you probably need to have some type of fundamental driver for it. You don't ever need to read the balance sheet, but you need to. There needs to be something driving it. A sector or a theme. Or earnings. Like you need to be able to read where the money is going. That's the number one job of a trader. You need to be able to understand where the money is flowing. And just using technical analysis is not going to cut it.
Don't look for patterns. Look mainly for stocks that actually have a reasonable chance to keep going up. And you obviously need a combination of momentum and relative strength and something that's driving it. Maybe earnings, it may be a hot theme, something like that. Keep out of random stocks. Keep out of random. Like most of the setup suggestions I get, like I'm not really super excited about them because they're just some random stocks that have momentum, and many of them don't even have momentum, and low ADR and stuff like that. But they can work anyways. But I think the best ones are something that has earnings. And if you want to make money in the stock market, you need to get the randomness out of it. There's always going to be random stocks doing random moves. And you want something predictable, something that works over and over and over again. That's how you make big money. That's how you become the 1 or 2 or 3% to actually make it in this business instead of being another statistic. Past momentum is a very good indicator of new momentum. That's why these stocks that you guys have been mentioning, like XLNX and some of these other semi-names that were mentioned, like these things, look at how choppy these things are. There's no momentum here. It's just a random stock doing a random thing. And this, which like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, another one. It's just super choppy, doesn't have a lot of momentum. Stick to the momentum leaders. If you want to make big money in the markets, you have to stick to the momentum leaders. You have to stick to the best ones. You can't sit there and trade second and third great stocks. What was the setup of Fubo? A basic breakout setup. A big move, orderly pullback, bounce off the 20-day, and then a breakout. Classic, just a classic setup. Like I go through this setup every single day, dozens of them. But you also kind of need the right stock. Like, I mean, I probably haven't talked about it enough, but you kind of need these, like it has to be in a hot sector. Like a lot of, you can also get these good setups. It's just a bunch of random stocks, but it's always good if you get them in these hyper growth stocks, like something like this, super hot product. They're just, last quarter, revenue growth was 950%. That's incredible. You kind of need to be in the right stocks also, not just being some random good setup, but also right stocks. But you guys are gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure it out. CRNC yesterday breakout. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really a good setup. It's not really. It's an okay momentum stock, but I think there are. I mean, the growth isn't that good. If you have a growth stock setting up, I would recommend like trading the growth stock, like something like this. It's just too random to me personally. I prefer to be either in a really hot sector or just in the growth names. Like most of these are growth names. This thing has triple digit, like if you just look at my portfolio, this thing has triple digit EPS and revenue growth. DraftKings, almost triple digit revenue growth. DQ, triple digit revenue and EPS growth. Well, actually, last quarter it only had 50% revenue growth, but still 175% EPS growth. Fastly, 42% revenue growth, and also really hot sector with the what's it called? Same sector that network as a service. Peloton, look at this, triple digit EPS revenue growth. Zillow, triple digit EPS growth. It actually had negative revenue growth, but it's still good momentum and stuff like that. TQQ is a Nasdaq ETF. Doku, triple digit EPS and mid double digit revenue growth. PLDP, well, it really doesn't have much growth or revenue growth, but it's a hot sector, fuel cells. Square, double-digit EPS and triple-digit revenue growth. BE, not much growth, but it's in a hot sector, fuel cells. Snap, triple-digit EPS growth, mid-double-digit sales growth. FNG, this is a FANG triple ETF. Futu, look at this. Quadruple. When market Smith says 999, it means 1,000 plus. They only have room for 3 digits. So quadruple digits, 1,000% plus EPS growth. That is insane as fuck. 276% revenue growth, okay? Riot, this is a coin-related name. Fuel cell, hot sector, fuel cells. Duh. QS, like the hottest battery stock out there. Batteries are like the hottest sector out there. Fubo, 950% revenue growth, okay? Mara, coin stock. GBTC, Bitcoin ETF. EPS means earnings per share. It's year over year. Year over year. All these numbers are year over year. I get them from MarketSmith. I'm going to show you like Fubo. This is like Fubo. They just launched their product or service or whatever it is. So now they're ramping up sales. Look at this thing. They went from like nothing to like 44, 61 million in sales. That's insane. Look at this Futu that I talked about. Look at the numbers on this thing. This is like insane. Look at these numbers. Crazy numbers. Crazy, absolutely crazy numbers. Something like Square. Like this is year over year. So last quarter had 36% EPS growth compared to the same quarter the year before, and 140% revenue growth compared to the same quarter the year before. And also you can see the estimates, right? So, the estimates are also really important because you can have very high current growth, but if the estimates are, going to be down next year or the year after, there's no reason for the stock to go up. So the estimates are also very important. You also want rising estimates. And sometimes also stocks that don't have much growth right now, but they have high estimates, those stocks can also make big moves. I don't really have an example right now, but like AMD, this is the one I was really bullish on a couple of weeks ago, but then I kind of sold it just because it was a slow mover. But look at this thing. Look at the estimates. 92% EPS growth this year, 48% next year. And look at this, triple-digit EPS growth, mid-double-digit revenue growth. Like most things I buy, like I rarely buy something like CRNC. It's just too random of a stock. Yes, it has good momentum and everything, but even if you get a good setup on a random stock, it's probably not worth it. Especially if you can choose from like these growth stocks. Like if you have plenty of growth stocks, and then you have some random stocks, focus on the growth stocks. Because earnings are fuel, okay? You need fuel. You need a reason for something to go up. Stocks don't go up just because there's a certain pattern to it, okay? You find the stocks that have a reason to go up, and then you look for patterns on those stocks. Because patterns are just something that can increase your odds of success, and then can maximize your risk reward. You want to get all the randomness out of trading. You want an edge. If you want a big edge, you kind of have to do these things. You don't have much room for error. You can't do random things. All right, guys, have a great long weekend. I expect you all go through a couple of 100 stocks as far back as they have trading history. That's your homework over the weekend. Again, if you want to make it in this business, you gotta put in the work. You have to memorize 1,000 charts this weekend. Yep. If you're gonna spend the weekend chilling, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry, but if you really, I'm telling you guys, if you wanna make it in this business, you gotta put in the work. All right, guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.